Hey guys, welcome to Amy's Stampin' with a Heart at the Crafty Cottage. I am going to do a quick technique for you today on painter's tape. Who would have thunk a idea of painter's tape would be so beautiful and so simple? There are much different ways to use this, but I'm going to show you a quick little way to actually paint with the painter's tape. Kind of crazy, but it is fabulous and I love it, and it made a great background to show off some of our new celebration stamps. And I'm doing a card swap for the celebration cards, and what better way to do than coming up with a quick, beautiful technique. So I'm going to flip you over and you'll get to see the cards and my creative mess that I started when I made the first video, which I didn't like the card that turned out the way it did. But anyway, that's okay. So let me flip you over. There you go. Now you can see my mess here. I have a little bunch of stuff. This is just plain old clean release duct tape. You can see the name right here. Clean release duct tape, just in case you wanted to get some just like I have. So what we've got here, and apparently I cut all the stuff and I left it over on the other table, of course. Okay. So we've got Whisper White 5 by 3.5, and then we've cut a piece of Mary Merlot to be 1/8 bigger all the way around, so it will lay just like this. Then we have a piece of Blushing Bride at 5.5 by 4.25, and that one's kind of a messy one, so we'll get a better cut. There we go. And that's going to lay on top of there. Then you're going to have a card base of 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25, which is here, which I will put them all on that later. But this is what we're making. I made this one just a little while ago with the black to see what it would look like. The black looks great here, but it does not look great here at all. So I decided to come back and do it in white so you could see the difference. And I think it looks so much better in white. Here's the white. The sentiment is just gorgeous in the white. And here's another one. This is on regular Whisper White cardstock. And this one is on the watercolor cardstock that we have at Stampin' Up. And they're both just as beautiful. It just depends on what color you want. This one's so much richer because this absorbs the paper and doesn't make it so deep. This one just sucks it in. It's already a darker paper. So it makes the colors that much darker. And I put a lot of ink on it. So because I went back and forth. And I'll show you what you're going to need to create these. Besides the painter's tape. I'm an aqua painter, which I might need to add some water. But just an old aqua painter. You don't need a whole lot of water. You really don't want a lot of water at all. We're also using 2 stamp sets from the Occasions catalog that comes out in January. You can earn these. You can earn this one with a qualifying purchase of $50, and it's free. And this is one of the stamps I've used. And then you can earn a qualifying purchase. You can earn this one, which has got some really cute sentiments. This has got our hummingbird and then our sentiment, the thinking herb. I've got thank you so much on our sentiments. So these are perfect for that. And they're 2-step stampings. I mean, you don't even have to color them in. So those are the two. This is the $100 qualifying purchase, and this one's $50. So we're going to go ahead and create this card again. Now, all I need to start is my piece of Whisper White. There we go. Move everything else out of the way. I have a mess on my desk. So, sorry. But between my brother texting and one of my downlines texting, and then our drainage in the tiny house is frozen over almost every day this week, and it's been pretty frustrating. So Pops, my husband, is working on that. So what I'm going to do is I've literally got strips of painter's tape pulled and literally taped across my thing. My colors are Blushing Bride, Mary Merlot, and Roco Rose. So you're going to see this first one that we're going to do is the Blushing Bride. And I've got them laying down in their stamp pad just so that they can suck up the ink. You see they've got some ink on there. And I'm going to start in the middle, very, very middle. You could dampen this a bit if you wanted to. If you're doing the watercolor, I would suggest damping it a little bit. That'll help it spread, but I'm not going to with the Whisper White. And you're just going to lay this down in the middle, which is what I did. Just run your fingers across so that it gets across it, and then pull up. That's it. Super simple. And then we're going to take our next color, which I did Roko Rose on both sides. And I'm trying to make sure I get it so that I don't have it everywhere. And you're going to run that one right there. And then do the same thing for the opposite direction in Roko Rose. So we're going to put it down here. There you go. Now I'm going to take my Mary Merlot and do the same thing. And this one is really, really juicy, and it usually sticks to it for me. So we've got our Mary Merlot, and I'm going to put it right here. And I can always tell when I don't quite get the middle because, see, I have a little room left here, a lot of room left up there. So that's not good, but, you know, we can fix it. We can keep that ombre-ish look going with the other colors. And we can just sit this one right here. Okay, that's enough with the Mary Merlot. Yeah, put that down. And I'm going to go with Blushing Bride on the top up here, because I want it to get that edge. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing at the very bottom, but I won't need to put as much because there's not that much down there. But I don't really want a whole lot of this white showing up. I've got it all over me. So here's the beauty of the blending. I'm going to take the watercolor painter, and I'm not going to use a lot of the water. I'm just literally going to take this Mary Merlot because it spreads easier, and I'm literally just going to pull it down, wet it, and pull it right down. And of course, it's not going to do it for me. There we go. You can just rub it in and see how it kind of shades that a little pink. And if you're not getting enough color, you can go add color from your ink pads. That works as well. I just want to kind of color in these little bits of white. There it goes. Okay. So, and then for the other ones, I'm going to add, let's use some Roko Rose. And then just run a little bit of the Roko Rose right there. That way it's not totally white. There you go. And you're done. It's a little damp. We will dry that with the heat gun. And it's not heavy. It's not crinkled. And it doesn't have bubbles in it. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's completely dry before I stamp and emboss on it. All right. Completely dry piece of paper. I love the ombre effect that it gives. You could leave all the white in there. That's entirely up to you. I didn't like the white showing up so much. So now what I'm going to do is stamp and emboss in white. So I'm going to stamp two things twice. I really need to find a way to get this black off of here, but we're just going to go with it. Hopefully this will take it off. Okay. Got my corner piece from the corner bouquet. I'm going to hold this little corner down so that it stays down on me. And I'm going to stamp this. And just hold some pressure so that you get a nice, good, clean stamp. And pull it off. And because there was just a touch of color, which I like to have a touch of color so I can see it. And then I'm going to pull out, I use a old piece of cardstock to do this because, or the back of this is from my Toil and Tidings paper. But that way it'll flow right off and go right back into my container. And this is one reason you need to make sure that your card is dry, because sometimes it doesn't, it'll pull damp spots as well, and you don't want that. See how it's damp right there? It's pulling it up. So I just plucked it off, and there we go. All right, so there's the top one. And I'm going to be very careful with that board till I'm ready to do the next one. And we're going to do this lovely little bird. And we're going to do him in the white as well. So we'll need to do some Versamark first. And I'm just going to Versamark him right up here. And again, you just want to give some pressure. Now I have a foam mat underneath here because this is a polymer stamp. So you'll need that. And I'm going to pull my embossing powder back in here. And we're going to just do this little bird, our little hummer. And you see, again, I didn't get all the wetness out, so it's pulling up some of that. And it comes right off. Okay, here we go. Now what I'm going to do is go across here with a brush, just a dry brush, and make sure I should have used a Stampin' Buddy, which is, or an embossing buddy, but I couldn't find mine. So I'm just going through here and making sure I have everything out and off of there that I don't want. There we go. All right, now it's time to heat set this. We'll move this out of the way because we are going to do our sentiment in the white embossing powder as well. The lid on this so I don't have this everywhere, even though I have some powder everywhere, I'm sure. Okay, now I'm going to have heat, so you'll have a little noise for a moment. Good, my burn is just about done. Here we go. Yeah, I love the magic. I love the heat embossing magic. And I'm going to run this on the back just to help flow it back out and make sure that it's flat again. Because, you know, when you heat emboss something, it kind of curls up on you. There we go. And there's your background page. Now, what I have here is a piece of Mary Merlot. It is just a scrap. It's 3/4 of an inch wide. And I've taken the thank you so much. Sorry, got my allergy killing me, and my grandkids are being tortured as well. So everybody's got the sniffles around here, and no, it's not COVID. We've already checked. All right, that's good. And let's get the white embossing powder back over here, and we're just gonna run this in some white embossing powder. There we go. Now I'm gonna try to get the rest of this back in here, so we don't lose a whole bunch of it. All right, and I spilled, of course. That's the way it goes. I need to eventually invest in something else to hold embossing powder. Okay. I'm going to brush off what I don't need on here. Like, I don't want it over here. I missed some. Gonna have to go back over it. Ah, I love embossing. And let's see, we need just a little bit more. My grandson keeps peeking in the window, so if you see him, sorry. All right, got enough on there now. And we're going to heat this back up. Pardon the noise. And again, the magic of heat embossing. All right, now we've got that done. Now I'm going to take this lovely little piece that is embossed and inked and everything else, and I'm just going to do a little glue all over it. And it's been a while since I've recorded anything, so if I'm off, please let me know and I will definitely try to redo it or do some explanations. I will have all of the dimensions on my website, so you'll be able to find it there. Just my glue is almost out. Can you tell? All right, there we go. So this is going to lay right on my card right here. There we go. And just lay this down, make sure it gets adhered. Now, if you wanted to use the new Stampin' Seal or one of those, they work just as well. I'm not sure I'm a fan of them yet, but you know how it goes. I haven't tried out to make sure that I like something yet or not. Okay. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back, close to where I have my sentiment, so that when I put it down, I won't have all of this because I'm going to cut it off. So I'm just going to sit this kind of where I want it. There we go. Trim this off. My scissors. Just go right here and just, whoop. There we go. And I'm going to put some the champagne rhinestones on this. I think I'm just going to do one. Maybe right here. All right. And next I'm going to go ahead, and I think I'm going to use this Stampin' Seal. This is the Stampin' Seal Plus. It's really sticky. I'm just going to put a little of this down. And actually, it's probably way too much. Wouldn't need that much. And we're going to put that on the Blushing Bride. And we're going to stick it down. And boom. There you go. That's what we did. I hope you enjoy this and that you find time to do some of the painter's tape techniques. And if you do, please show them to me, or you can put them in the comments. Send them to me on my Facebook page or my Crew of Hearts page. They may be a goodie in it for you. I have plenty of extra celebration items that I'm going to be giving away. And I also have a couple of stamp pads that I accidentally over-ordered. So in that case, guys, I can't wait to show this to you. And I do hope that you keep following me in the new year and that you had a wonderful Christmas. We'll see you next week. Bye.